Hi, everyone. It's Dr. Frankie, and it's Thursday, and I am here with another topic that I think is important for us to consider. And before I jump into today's material, I want to encourage you to continue to subscribe. For those of you who have subscribed to my channel, I appreciate you all, and it keeps me motivated, and it's exciting to see my numbers go up every week. So if you like what you hear, please definitely take a moment to subscribe. Also, be sure to click on that. There's, I guess, a little bell icon right down below the video. Select all for notifications, and you'll be sure to see my weekly content that comes out. I put out content for my weekly vlog, which is this, where I cover topics that are really important, and they're related to sex, relationships, intimacy, communication, all things relationship, basically. And it doesn't have to be specifically romantic relationships. It's just any relationships that we have in our lives. And I also have a podcast that I put out every week. So if you select all and you have those notifications on, you will get my most recent, current, updated material that I'm putting out there. And for those of you that are new to me, I'm Dr. Frankie Bichon. I am a clinical psychologist, and I've been practicing for over 2 decades. And I'm a board certified sex therapist, and also the CEO of Little Gay Book Matchmaking and Little Black Book Matchmaking. So if you're single and you want to get out there and meet amazing people, I want to encourage you to get into our free database. And if you're queer, get into our database at littlegaybook.com. And if you're heterosexual, visit littleblackbookmatchmaking.com. And it's free to get in there, fill out a profile, and we will be searching on a regular basis, basically daily, for matches for our clients, our matchmaking clients who hire us all over the United States to find amazing matches for them. So let's not waste another moment. I'm just going to jump into today's talk. Sex when you have difficulty orgasming. And believe it or not, more people than you think have difficulty orgasming. So hope you find this helpful. Many of us think of earth-shattering cinematic orgasms. Think Sally Albright in the deli scene as the pinnacle of great sex. But for some of us, they may feel out of reach. Having an orgasm is rare, extremely challenging, or maybe has never happened at all. This is common, believe it or not. It's a common experience. Achieving orgasm can be really challenging for many people. But fear not, you're not alone, and there are strategies to enhance your sexual experience. Know that difficulty with orgasm is both common and a value neutral. While TV, movies, romance novels, and porn often depict women orgasming constantly and with the mildest possible stimulation, reality is much, much different. Roughly 25 to 30% of women report difficulty orgasming. In some studies, 10% say they'd never had an orgasm during partnered sex, and 4% said they'd never had an orgasm at all. These numbers translate to millions of women worldwide who have struggled with the same issues. Struggling to have an orgasm is the most common reported sexual complaint from women, right? Isn't that surprising? Because social media, television, movies show us something very different. Why does this occur? There are a variety of possible causes that can all intersect with each other. Physiologically, there are differences between different people. Emotionally or psychologically, those stressors can have an impact. Sexual trauma, relational issues, or a connection to low sex drive or libido. It's normal for orgasmic experiences to fall along a bell curve, like many things, right? Most people are somewhat in the middle, but there will always be some people with experiences at either end of the spectrum, those outliers. It's important to keep in mind that if you're struggling to have an orgasm, regardless of the specific reasons, it does not mean there is something wrong with you or that you're broken. Hear me say this again. It does not mean that there's something wrong with you or that you're broken. Orgasming is a complex and delicate physiological, my tongue is like tied. I've been talking all day long with clients. So physiological response, and it's an extremely normal thing to have difficulty doing. Much like rolling your tongue or whistling. Funny enough, that just happened to me. If you're the partner of someone who's having difficulty orgasming, It's important to remember that this is likely out of their control and that increased pressure is likely going to make the situation much more stressful and not any better. Even if your only intention is to help, single-minded focus on why your partner isn't orgasming and what you could do to change that will only make everyone more anxious and stressed out. Sex and orgasms aren't the same thing. It's entirely possible and even common to have a fulfilling and healthy sex life that isn't centered around orgasming. Isn't that surprising? I bet you're thinking, really? But yeah, it's true. Ask your partner directly how they feel about orgasms during sex and how they'd like you to navigate this topic, and take their response at face value. If orgasming is a goal, know that you have options. Again, it's perfectly normal not to orgasm during sex. And as long as you feel fulfilled and stimulated by your sex life, you don't need to change a thing. If orgasming or orgasming more often or more easily is of interest to you, though there are a range of things you can try, one to consider is masturbating more and more seriously. To be clear, difficulty orgasming isn't a failure on your part. You aren't doing something wrong. But if you find that you have trouble articulating to partners what you like or what your body responds well to when they'd like to help you orgasm, it may mean that you haven't built a familiarity with your own body and what actually feels really good to you. Masturbating regularly and with intention, bringing as much thoughtfulness and effort to it as you would to partnered sex, can help you really get to know what turns you on, both physically and mentally. Because a lot of it too happens in the mind. A lot of it is mental. And help make partnered sex even that much more amazing. As well as teaching you what your body needs to orgasm, because it's very personal. Everybody's really different. And there's such a range. Like, for example, some people need a lot of pressure and a lot of stimulation, and some people need to have very little and have it be gentle and soft and so on. Approach your wellness and your body holistically. Stress and anxiety can significantly impact your ability to orgasm, and it's worth trying to incorporate relaxation techniques into your routine, such as deep breathing, meditation, or even a warm bath or a sauna. And studies show benefits from regular heat therapy as well. Your physical wellness, including your sexual response, are also deeply intertwined with your mental and psychological health. If you're dealing with depression, anxiety, or trauma, these can significantly impact your body's response and relationship to pleasure. It may be helpful to seek counseling. And for many people, trouble orgasming can be connected to trouble with sex in general, driven by internalized shame and stigma around sexuality. Working with a sex therapist may be a meaningful step forward, help you break out of that way of thinking or whatever's standing in the way, help you further explore it and get rid of that roadblock. Consider incorporating toys in your sex life. For many people, their bodies need a more intense level of stimulation to orgasm that can easily be achieved by a partner or themselves alone. As many as 50% of American women use vibrators. If you wish you were having a different experience during sex and haven't used toys before, it's definitely worth giving it a try. Explore pelvic floor exercises. Strengthening your pelvic floor muscles can contribute to more intense orgasms. Taking on regular Kegel exercises can enhance muscle tone and increase sensitivity, could impact your experiences during sex. Working with a sex therapist, gynecologist, or healthcare professional can help ensure you're doing these exercises safely and professionally. Ask your OBGYN for a referral. It's not unusual for folks to ask for that. Know that pleasurable sex doesn't begin and end with orgasms. Sex is about pleasure, and in the case of partnered sex, connection. Neither of these require orgasms, people. Neither of them require orgasms, because we get really focused on having our partner orgasm. And we just I think sometimes we just need to let that go and just recognize that it's enjoyable having the opportunity to connect with one another, touch one another, feel that stimulation. Sometimes that's just good enough. For many people, the best sex of their life didn't include an orgasm. For just as many, sex that did include an orgasm was overall terrible or even traumatic. If you've tried everything above that I've just stated or have no interest in trying any of it, it's crucial that both you and your partner or partners understand that this doesn't diminish anything about your sex life or its quality. You determine what constitutes good sex. Even if your partner has staked their sexual self-worth on a fantasy of providing multiple orgasms every single night, If you've defined your desired experience during sex as one that's focused on overall pleasure rather than an orgasm specifically, then you need to respect that. And they need to respect that. You both need to accept that. And just know that it's about connection. And many people don't orgasm. And it's something that can be really challenging. So give yourself love, give each other love. And yeah, hopefully you take away something helpful from today's talk. And if you know somebody that struggles in this area, please share my talk with them. If you have questions about what I've just covered or comments, I encourage you to post them below and I'll do my best to respond. And in the meantime, I look forward to seeing you all next week. And thanks so much for showing up. And I will see you then. Take care.